Yeah.
Okay, everyone, welcome to our Tuesday call. But first, I'm going to go ahead and give the medical disclaimer. The information provided is for educational purposes and is not intended as medical advice or a substitute for medical advice of a physician or other qualified healthcare professional. We do not aim to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any illness or disease. And you should always consult with a doctor or a healthcare professional for medical advice or information about diagnosis and treatment. And the information in this presentation has not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration or any other medical body. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Dr. Dori Narbo, and I'm your host on today's call. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm a clinical researcher and an author of several books. So welcome to our Tuesday call with Clayton Thomas, and we have a special guest tonight. And of course, Clayton is the founder of Root. He's been in the industry for over 25 years. He has experience in the health and wellness industry. For the past 16 years, he's focused on detoxification and supplementation formulations, and with a simple philosophy, cure the cause. Well, hello, Clayton, and welcome to the call.
Happy Tuesday, and hopefully I get to do this next introduction because it is my favorite subject.
Oh, well, that's a load off. Thank you. But okay, but I'll just do like a little bit and then I'll let you take over.
All right.
Okay, we'll share her.
As everyone wants, they want a piece. So I'll let you start and then I will.
I'll start and I'll let you take
continue.
over. Oh, that's great. Okay. All right. So today, we're going to take a deep dive into Restore. And to help us do that, we have our special guest, Dr. Christina Rahm, CEO and Chief Science Officer. And she is a modern day Renaissance woman with a wagon load of talent and has one of the most impressive CVs that I've ever seen. So, Clayton, take it away.
So a little story to give you a basis of where we are, why we're here, why you're here, and why this is probably going to be the most profound conversation about anything from a wellness perspective you've ever had. So the quick story: 6 years ago, I had a conversation and was doing some work with John Salley, an ex-NBA basketball player. And in our introduction, we were talking detoxification and wellness. And a couple weeks later, he ended up going back to New York for an NFL and NBA Players Association conference on pharmacogenetics. And at that event, the keynote speaker was a woman that he was quite intrigued about because she has a pedigree unlike really anyone else. And he had been fortunate enough to be at the same table with her and mentioned in conversation that she should meet this crazy guy he met in California, and together they might be able to change a lot of stuff in wellness because of what he had seen from our conversation and what he was feeling she was capable of. Fast forward a few years. In conversation, when I was first introduced to the good Dr. Christina Rahm, she told me that if I was going to work with her, I had to move to Nashville. That took 2 weeks. And that's been about almost six years now in that journey. And what makes this unique is this is a combination of experience, life experience, education. As Dori had mentioned, her CV reads longer than most books. But
that's true. It's like a book. I didn't even think about that.
Makes one heck of a story, right?
Yeah.
And this is what's important. Through life, we learn many things, and we can learn a lot from women. So she's not very good at talking about this, so I'm going to give you the quick synopsis because all of this leads to what we are now. Christina grew up in Southwest Missouri. She got to play in the pesticide sprayed fields of soybeans and such as a kid, and through that process, she's had an opportunity at the age of 18. She's met 4 presidents. She won National History Day in middle school and met her first president there. But she had a photographic memory as a kid. But when she was 18, she got bit by a tick and contracted Lyme disease, which at the time wasn't really popular because Lyme wasn't cool yet. And through the process of treatment, she lost her memory. Imagine having a photographic memory and being one who, won National History Day, you're really smart, and then your memory is wiped clean. You can't remember your name, you don't know where you grew up. And from coming out of that process, she actually has an eidetic memory and she now speed reads. So she went from having a photographic memory to an eidetic memory. And if you don't know what an eidetic memory is, anything that she sees, reads, hears, or is in the environment of, she remembers and has recall of. But after going to college, actually that process continued for an extended period of time, but having a master's degree in science, she started in psychology. And for most people, when they start in psychology, they start with an easy job. But when she was in school, she was overseeing seven psychologists and was in charge of working with sexually abused kids and sexual predators in psychology, and also working with the seriously persistently mental ill. So the hardest groups of people to work with from a psychology perspective, because it's what she leads with is heart and trying to provide benefits. She then went on to work in the biotech industry with Pfizer, Alexion, Biogen, IDEC, Johnson & Johnson, UCB. She got her PhD, a PsyD, and an EDD through that process. But those are a lot of letters, and it's all very well documented, very well established. And one of the fun things for me in moving here, in cleaning up the house and putting many new things in place, is looking at all of her business cards, all of the awards, all of the records of her history. You can't argue with it. But she's also a mom. She lost a child to cancer in the womb, which her choice to save her son that was in the womb that wasn't cancer caused her to have systemic cancer a few different times. So she's had 4 or 5 different cancers ever since she was 24 years old. A lot of it because of how and where she grew up. She's been through cancer. She's lost one child to cancer. Her 16-year-old, or our son now, because I get to be the stepdad, had cancer when he was 2, which she got to manage. She has the experience as a mom. She has the experience as a scientist. She has the experience as a researcher that honestly, no one I've ever met or heard of has the compilation of experience, life experience, scientific experience, education that's ever been in biotech, pharma, and wellness. And she brings experience from all of these areas into what Root is, because it's her life experience and knowledge that was the creation of the Trinity and the reason that we created Root is it was designed to create a platform to allow her to create solutions for what people need, but do so in a manner that is service-based. It's not about what we could do and how much we could make. It was what we could do for massive amounts of people. And you've probably heard of Clean Slate. It's quite effective, quite unique, probably the greatest chelator of heavy metals and environmental toxins that's ever been put on the market. Zero In, likely the greatest adaptogenic nootropic that's ever come to the market. And when you hear from your wife and the inventor that the third of the group is going to be the strongest, biggest seller, and most beneficial, and you already have these two, you pay attention. So this is an opportunity for you to learn from someone that countries listen to, biotech listens to, pharma listens to, and she's here has created products for all of us like nothing you've ever had your hands on. So the favorite part of my life is being able to shut up now and let her do her thing. But with no applause, Dr. Rahm, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Well, the floor's not mine, the floor's Dory's.
No, the floor is yours. I've said, let's go over the questions. Let's see. Let me put you on the, oh, look. So
I like putting you on the floor first, in front first, Dory.
I was already on the floor. Now I've got you on the floor. Oh, that didn't sound good. I have to edit that out.
That wasn't inappropriate. We're not inappropriate, unlike Clayton.
It's okay. It's okay when we do it.
Claire, keep that in for the record.
No. No.
Okay. So I think the biggest question, well, I would like to know, like, why this formulation? Why did you create this formulation?
Well, so I have worked, like Clayton said, for a lot of pharmaceutical and biotech companies, also for numerous nutraceutical companies. And when you're a scientist like me, I've never been able to figure out whether it's because I had the biotech pharma background or because I'm a female. I'm not sure, but every time I've gone in to make formulas for companies, they'll come in and they'll change my formulas, or they make them not as strong, or later say they weren't my formulas when they were. And so I became extremely protective of what I was going to make the last, 5-6 years of my life. And one thing, it's like Dory, Dory is a brilliant scientist and clinician, but no one owns Dory. Like, she's one of my closest friends, but I don't ever claim ownership over Dory. I just know she is a beautiful spirit of who she is. When it came to my life, I really did want to create some formulas that could change people's lives, that someone wouldn't change, that would come from, my career and what I knew, and could really make a difference in the United States and worldwide. Because I've traveled to 80 countries, I've seen different health problems in different countries. I've also been exposed to different solutions and different formulas through that. And so I took a combination of what I learned from biotech and pharma and what I've learned as a scientist, because I had gone back to school in nanotechnology and nutrition and pharmaceutical. It was important to me to add my latest knowledge to a formula. And my true desire was to help people. So with this formula, I put the ingredients that I knew could support the body. I wanted to make sure that I did something that could do amazing things. So I wanted to do a formula that could support the immune system, support the organs in the body, could help the body fight off viruses, bacteria, parasites, and fungus by supporting it to be the healthiest it can be. I needed something that could be bioavailable throughout the system. And I wanted something that could activate the metabolism of the body at the same time it was protecting and helping the immune system. So here's the immune system, here's the organs. Then you've got, making sure the metabolism's working right? Because Dory, at our age,
oh my gosh,
that's important. and getting older, I had always heard that it does affect your metabolism, and it does. So I wanted something that I knew I could take, and it would help with the metabolism as well as the anti-aging. So I strategically chose the formulas, the ingredients, and how I would make them together, and what I would bring together in the manufacturing process, so that when people took it, they could use the product. And at the very end, I added certain types of sugar, and really it was a cane sugar is what I used, and the D-ribose and the monk fruit, as well as the apple cider vinegar. That was in the end, because I wanted to make it bioavailable to the skin. I wanted it to be able to be used on the skin if people wanted, because you have all these formulas out there that people are using, but if you'll ever notice, a lot of those formulas that companies have that are in packets like this, it's extremely sticky, and it does not work effectively on the skin. Like, it'll crack and feel horrible. And I wanted something that you could actually use overnight. And people could use after they took the packet that they could put on different areas. And that's why in the end, you have the packet of Restore that you have. I didn't want to restore just the inside of the body. I wanted to give support to the largest organ in the body, which is your skin. And I've said this a lot as a scientist. When people have skin problems, like I have a lot of skin cancer, right? Because I've had cancer since I was in my middle 20s, and it shows on my skin, and it's because what is reflected on the outside. So I needed something that you could take and then also put on the skin and would be more bioavailable. Because I strategically chose the ketones and the turmeric, along with the other ingredients like resveratrol and black cumin seed, I did want something that could also, when you put it on the skin, help people when it came to pain. And I know that's a lot of things that I'm mentioning, but I needed it to be able to be applied. And again, you'll see when you take the formula, and Dory, you're going to love it. It's sticky, and then you're like, well, this is going to be sticky overnight, and then the stickiness is gone. Right. And now the color is not gone because I use the root of plants. And that's why people ask me, well, why are you using the root? Because the root is one of the strongest parts that you utilize that can really have those ingredients that will help be more bioavailable and really help the organs in the body. So it was, here's my thought. I want one thing. I wanted to call this formula Relive, because to me, it gives life. No one listened to me, and I hope someday they change it because I wanted something that people could start living again, that it would really help them. Because when you have health issues, you're scared and you don't feel good, and sometimes you don't want to get out of bed. So I made this formula not just for others, but I also made it selfishly for me and for my family. First time I've been able to make a formula that people didn't change. So it was very well. Clean slate, they didn't change. But at first, when we launched it, not to get off topic, it didn't have everything I wanted in it. And then we were able to put what I wanted. And then Zero In, there were some tweaks that were made to that. Restore, you guys, is the one thing I wanted everyone to have. If they were traveling throughout the world, or if I never saw them again, they would have something that could help them day to day. So that was extremely important to me.
Wow. Thank you so much for that introduction. One of the things I remember you were talking about, it was the structure, and that like people could put it on, like, say, for example, if you've got knee pain or something like that, that it would actually, can you touch on that a little bit?
Sure, because of the ingredients that I used, and again, going back to apple cider vinegar, I know this sounds odd, but you're able to create formulas when you use the apple cider vinegar in a certain way. It helps with the bioavailability because of the microparticles. It kind of activates things that can go in through the skin. A lot of times when people take things like apple cider vinegar, I'll use that as an example, it helps the microbiome, right? It's kind of a probiotic, and it can help with your gut as well as your heart and everything else through the body. But what if you applied something to the skin and you were able to make it go into the skin and actually impact also the inside of the body? That's really what I wanted. You have all these delivery mechanisms and products where you put like patches on your skin, or you'll put something that's there's all kinds of things, that have to do with sublingual in the tongue or on the skin. I needed something that people could apply it directly. And I knew that with turmeric curcumin, if you can source it right, especially using the root, and using black cumin seed and things like ketones, that there's been tons of studies that have shown that parasites and fungus and bacteria and viruses will actually leave the skin. And I think what people don't understand is, again, the skin is 80% of your body. It's the largest organ you have. So if I can impact the inside, or not me, because this is not my formula, it's yours, it's everyone's. If we can impact the inside of the body and help, and at the same time give a double whammy by putting it on the outside to target specific areas, that's what I really needed to do. I wanted people to be able to say, okay, I took this product, but I've got this particular area, like I had, with the skin cancer, let me put this on particular areas so that I'm really giving a double dose to that area. And it's like a sublingual or like a patch. It's going directly into the skin, into the body. And that was something that I really wanted to do. And now it's time for me to research that. So Dory and I are in the process of partnering with different groups so we can research what I'm talking about, because I know as a scientist the facts of what it does. I want to show you guys something just really quick. This is a diagram of curcumin. And you guys probably noticed I'm putting curcumin in a lot of the products. And the diagram is from a really important article that I can send you, Dory, that you can send out to everyone.
Christina, can you slow down for the translators, please? Just a little bit.
Yes,
Thank
I
you.
always do that. I'm so sorry.
It's because you get excited, and I love that. And well, first of all, let me just say that your skin looks amazing. I mean, I can really tell a difference. I can't
Thank you.
wait to try it. I'm sure everybody on this call, every woman, man, I mean, but the women are really excited about it because, you know, we like spatial. So, well, I think Clayton likes it too. So
He does, but don't forget to eat either when you take it, because that is a thing you'll notice, especially if you take 2 packets a day, you'll notice that you're not hungry. So you that's a good thing, but also you still need to eat. So the protein and vegetables are something you need to take. But let me go into it a little bit slower, knowing that there's been tons of research. And the reason I like this diagram is it really goes into mapping the diseases that curcumin has been proven through other research to help. Because, you know, this is a phenomenal product that is able to help help things like Alzheimer's, dementia, and everything else. And of course, we can't say that with this product because we have to do more research. We have to research the actual packets so that people can take them, and we can do 30, 60, 90-day, 2-year studies to really see how this is impacting people. But I really wanted people to have something that you could put on your lymph nodes if you were having a sore throat, or if you had sinuses, for example. You could put it on your sinuses to help with the pain and the inflammation. And I wanted something directly that could go on that. So a neat story is one of my best friends, closest friends, like I'm close to Dory, her name's Mimi Pullman. She had a sinus infection and that she tried everything. And she actually took a packet of Restore, but then I said, you've got to put it, she was miserable. I said, you've got to put it on your sinuses because she has chronic sinusitis. And it was miserable for her. Fever, everything. And within an hour, Mimi was feeling better and did not have pain and did not feel like she had inflammation in the sinuses. And of course, we can't say that will happen every time, as you know, Dory, but I do want people to know that this product in particularly, more than any product I've ever seen, taking it is very important, but also putting it on specific areas is important. And one of the reasons, another reason I put the apple cider vinegar in there was because it actually will help take away the stickiness in a product, as well as the microparticles and the bioavailability. So I really thought through the process on this of what I really wanted that could, if I could take it everywhere while I traveled, it would be great if my kids could take it and if other people could have it so that it could impact their life and really help with antioxidants and help with inflammation to stop that, which you guys know is a major thing that impacts our organs and our overall lives, not just not just aging of our cells, but everything. It starts the cascade. I do want to say something because I want to make sure I tell people this. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the cytokine cascade. I think some people, when they start taking this product, if they take one and they feel different, because you will feel like pop rocks kind of in your throat and in your mouth. I don't know if you guys ever took the candy that like pops everywhere. It's like micro particles. You can feel the microparticles, the ketones, and the apple cider vinegar popping in a neat way. But it could cause people to start different types of cascades to try to clean the body and restore the body, because that can happen. And so with me, I noticed I was taking Restore and I started thinking, gosh, I feel like I'm not sick, but I feel different. So I took 2. And then when I started taking 2, I noticed, oh my gosh, I feel great. And so it really helped significantly. Some people, though, it will be so strong that they will want to take half a day until they get up to the point that they can take more. And also, it's going to depend on what they're trying to target, right? So Dory, if you're trying to target, I would like to lose 5, you don't need to lose weight, first of all,
yes,
at all.
yes. I've already decided how I'm going to do it. I'm actually going to put it on my skin, and then I'm going to wrap myself in saran wrap, and I'm going to try that.
No, but if you decided like you really wanted to increase your metabolism, right?
Yeah.
You would take one in the morning
Uh-huh.
and then take one at night or in the afternoon. I have not gone to nighttime yet. So it would be something, I will tell you this, and Clayton's not going to like that I'm saying this, and you might not either, Dory, but I can't take more than 2 0 in. And usually I'm just taking one when I take the Restore, because the Restore is going to give you guys energy. And I know Clayton talks a lot about 0 in, because 0 in is targeting the neurotransmission of the brain, right? And the stomach. But this product Restore is so powerful that it's going to give you guys a lot of energy, and it's going to help with performance as well. You're going to notice a change, huge change, when you take the product. So yesterday I was traveling and forgot this product. And we were going somewhere where we supposedly had shipped the product, but it wasn't there. And I was almost having anxiety over it.
Oh, wow.
So if anyone talked to me yesterday, I probably was very stressed out. Dory, you talked to me.
Yeah, I could tell.
I could not get the Restore, and then I wanted to. I finally got one in the afternoon, but it is a product that can help people with a variety of things, and it does fit along with what we have right now in the Trinity, what you guys call it, because another reason this was so important to me is I knew people have to detox in order to get rid of the neurotoxins in the brain, which we are increasingly having, that we know now that not 40, but 70% can be passed to the newborn, right? We've got to get rid of it. Once you get rid of it, though, how are you supplementing it? Because if you do not put something powerful into your system to protect the cells, support the immune system against viruses, bacteria, parasites, fungus, then you're opening yourself up to putting bad things in again, right? So you can't, and I've always said this, you can't just detox and not bring the good products into the body, because you can deplete the body. Yes, it's healthier once you detox, but you got to put the right things in. You don't just keep putting trash in, right? You want to make sure you're putting things in. So it's a product that I will take the rest of my life. And I will make sure that my family has it. It's something that I got to tell you, my kids love it. They love the taste of it. Some people don't like the taste, because if you don't like the taste of monk fruit, which is kind of an orangey, taste, then you may want to put it into a shake or something else, because it does have the monk fruit taste in it.
And well, I've heard it tastes really good, like orange, or those little orange, what do they call
It
those?
does.
Those
Orange popsicle. Do you remember the push-ups?
I remember those orange.
The creamsicles.
Yeah, creamsicles. Oh gosh, those are so good. So do you think that this product would actually be safe for like pregnant women and nursing mothers?
Yes, I do. I think that I would want to be careful with women that are pregnant and nursing, so that if they're starting this while they're pregnant and nursing, I would start with half a packet a day. But the main ingredients that are in this product, with the percentage that we have in, like the milligrams that are in there, with the resveratrol and the black cumin seed and the raspberry ketones, and then your turmeric curcumin, it should be fine for women that are nursing or women that are pregnant. Yes.
And what do you think about children, and how much would children take?
I think this is an incredibly amazing product for children. I think that it's going to help a lot of children. I think that when you're under 3, that you may want to start with a teaspoon. And I think when children start eating, this is a great product that's able to give them the nutrients, the minerals, and the vitamins they need to support their life. Because I want to say this, I didn't add a bunch of vitamins. And the reason I didn't do that is, if you look at the key ingredients in that product, they have the vitamins and minerals you need to support your body. And the only way you can add, like if I add a vitamin D or a vitamin C, I usually will do it as a catalyst to a product to make the product activated and work better, like what I did at a high concentration with the Clean Slate. With this particular product, because I added other activators right into it, it was not as much of a concern. And I think for children, this is going to be extremely beneficial. when you have children where you're trying to support their bodies while they're dealing with ADHD and autism. And again, we cannot never claim to cure any of those, but to support the body, anyone that understands those illnesses or those issues people are having with autism, ADHD, and lots of things that have to do with anxiety and depression, you know that diet and nutrition is hugely important. There's been so many studies that show that if you will basically minimize the sugar, doesn't mean, because fruit has sugar in it, right? And I tried not to use a lot of sugar in this, except for I needed to use it to make it bioavailable. And I needed to use it with the apple cider vinegar, which kind of counteracts it, but will be utilized to go into the skin, like I said, as well as be bioavailable. And I want to stop right there. When I say go into the skin, Dory, as a scientist, I also mean in the body to go into the organs of the body, because your skin's your organs your biggest organ. So when I talk about the skin, I want everyone to know when you take this, you're affecting the other organs because you're supporting them because they're inside. I just try to also do it on the outside. So I support, like I said, from a double perspective. And you can freeze it, by the way.
Yeah, that was actually a question. Do you see that? They're asking.
I did. I've frozen it, and I've also put it in the refrigerator. It's very good. I've used it in a shake. I've done different things with it.
Are there any contraindications with any kind of medications?
Well, so some people have reactions to apple cider vinegar. But I have such a small amount in here that should not affect them. There are some individuals that are allergic to raspberries. There's some people allergic to turmeric, but I don't think that's a large percentage. And I just couldn't keep the turmeric out or the raspberries. Some people have said they're allergic to black cumin seed oil. There's just, everything has that. Resveratrol is the same way. Some people can't drink wine.
On our university course, they did say that 1 ounce of alcohol is actually good for you every night.
I know.
I haven't started yet, but I'm going to try it.
No, it's true.
I know it's true.
It's actually good for you. And there's been so many studies. And you guys, I don't know if you know this, but D-ribose, which I used in this ingredient or in this product, is also a product that has research behind it with AFib, myocardial infractions, all of that stuff. It supports the heart. And that was another reason I really wanted the ingredients to be able to go into those organs, including the heart, because I have close friends that have heart issues, that it was important to me that they live as long as possible.
Thank you.
I know. And then also from a cardiovascular perspective, when you look at everything that surrounds all the diagnostics as far as testing for that, blood pressure and everything that goes around it, this is a product that really, I think people will see results. And I look forward to testing people to make sure that we have great results with it. And Dory, you're an important part of that process.
Well, thank you for that. And I just wanted to mention that for our group, for the IS&S group, that we will be coming out with surveys so that we want everybody, when they get their product, to, we'll put the link out where people can go out, fill the link out so that we can collect data, because that's going to be really important that we're documenting everything, like, SF12s and things like that, for quality of life, for example.
Yeah. Absolutely. We're very excited at IS&S to be doing the work where we're really going to be able to look at it. And one of the things I want to test also that most people don't is candida, because, I know I've talked about this before, but yeast to me is something my family suffers from. Starting when you're babies, we've had lots of yeast infections, lots of things that grow throughout the body. And we know that impacts obesity, that impacts cancer, like it causes the cascades to develop. It makes it grow. And there's all kinds of things where you see that. Well, I used ingredients in here that show that they're able to get rid of candida. And I'll give you an example, apple cider vinegar. There's been increased research on that and how it helps with the microbiome of the stomach. And there's been mice studies and animal studies that have showed that it's actually able to get rid of even Staph aureus, which is a typical, hard type of bacteria. Mm-hmm. And then candida. I got to tell you though, when you look at the research behind the ingredients of these products and how we have been able to make it bioavailable because of the nanotechnology background and the nano emulsions that were used in this formula, it just shows you that we have a lot of supporting literature And so when we start getting the case studies, don't be shocked, because you're going to see amazing things. And I know that there's all kinds of case studies you and I were talking about, Dory, when it comes, and I know Dr. Tina was talking about when it comes to autism and ADHD and all of that stuff. But to be able to give this to people, it's going to be extremely helpful. And because of the antimicrobial, right? When people get different types of bacteria and infections, I will definitely want their doctors, if they're willing to try this, to try this for supporting the body. Dr. Tina actually texted me over the weekend with a child, and I said, please use the Restore if you believe that it will work, because I do. And she said, I absolutely want it. I don't have it. And that's why, Dory, I was trying to make sure I could get it to her as quickly as possible.
Right, right.
Can I throw a question for Dr. Rahm really quickly?
Sure.
Can you talk about your experience with the cytokine storms because of your history with die-off and how quickly the immune system might start kicking in, but also the importance of using Restore as part of the Trinity, as not just a standalone, but the benefits of using all three together?
Yes, I talked a little bit, Clayton, I don't know if you heard me, about the cytokine, that I can notice a difference. I felt kind of inflammation in my hands when I started with the Restore, which has now subsided, but it took me a couple of weeks, because I think what was happening is it was attacking the spiral sheets in my body from Lyme's disease. Because as you guys know, clean slate will rip those apart, we believe, and we've had tons of case studies on that. But also they're still there, so you've got to get rid of them. And I think that Restore, when I started taking it, automatically jump started my immune system to where I was having to fight this battle inside. And many of you guys that understand science and understand nutrition and understand wellness understand that sometimes when your body is in the process of fighting things, it will take a while where it feels sick before it can get rid of things. And that's the process I went through for about a week and a half. It's not a bad thing when this happens. It's the body going under war basically inside so that it can get rid of the bad things. It's kind of like the first time you take a bath, with a baby, they don't like it because they're getting clean and they're getting, everything washed off, and your body inside is the same way. And I say this all the time, inside of you is a city. It's actually living and breathing. I wish you guys could see what I see when I look at microscopes and I've studied what happens in the body. I learned this a lot when I worked with HIV and Hep C, and how the body is so amazing, but you've got these good cells that are communicating and healthy. And then when the bad cells come in, they try to make the good cells bad, and they cause these autoimmune disorders and these disease. They want to take over the body. So Lyme's disease, for example, is one of those things that keeps trying, right, to take over the body. And with this is a strong product. So your body is going to go through trying to basically win this battle inside, whether you call the battle aging or a disease, an illness, an autoimmune disorder. Your body's constantly going to be fighting that, and you need the tools to do it. This product is something that supports the body by giving it the tools, but get ready with some of you, for you to have this experience while your body is becoming healthier and is supporting itself with aging, and supporting itself not to be sick and to ward off all these things around us. And I know I keep saying this, I never want to make a claim about anything that I make, but I do want to tell you all, this body is so important. The rest of your life, the most important battle you will have is personally taking care of your health, and when I say health, I also mean your mental health. So you've got to give the tools inside the body to fight the war inside to be healthy. And sometimes for a short period, it may not be fun while you're doing that. You're going to feel great from a energy perspective. And if you put on your skin, you're going to look like you look better, and like your skin has gone under a transformation, basically. My skin was looking older, but now it looks newer. But sometimes the body will go through the cytokine storm. And Clinton, you may want to add something to that. But for me, I'll tell you how it felt. It felt like when I had Lyme disease. And so then what I did is I put it on my joints, and I immediately felt better. And that's what I did this morning, actually, and felt better. But you may go through that. And my only experience, I only know what I know for me. Lyme disease was a really horrible disease for me to fight. I don't think people understand, but personally, it was a really hard battle. And I'm very thankful that I really don't struggle with it, except for every once in a while. Clean slates changed that for me, right? It's helped me tremendously. And now this is another tool that will keep me living and looking younger and having a better quality of life because I have this product. Did you want to add anything, Clay?
No, I think those are some of the key components. And the one thing, going back to babies, we already have an 8-month-old that's using Restore and absolutely loves it.
Well, the kids are going to love it because it tastes
good. Breastfed, get breastfed and Restore. Pretty much it right now. And just gets a little bit. But the feedback I've had from his dad has been the kid's exceptional, and he gets his clean slate too. I think he gets a drop of clean slate, and it was interesting with the clean slate dosage that he flushed within 2 hours. There's Matt.
The kid's a big breastfed baby. That's all he does is eat is breastfed, and he won't take his mom's boob over Restore. It's crazy. So you put the right kind of taste stuff in there for sure. But yeah, and the difference in him is just amazing. He was already a very, very healthy baby, but it's just been a total blessing to our family. We have everyone. We are pulling in all of our loved ones onto this stuff. So love you guys very much.
I liked hearing that. That made me happy. That's awesome. I have my kids love it. My 16-year-old, I had to tell him you can't have 5, 6, 7 packets a day. And he said, why not? I go, well, you don't need that every day unless you're not feeling good. But he loves it. He's like your kids. He just loves it. And he's one of those kids that I have a hard time taking anything. Zero in was something he loved because it helped him focus with basketball. But I think he just loves the taste of Restore. And he says it gives him so much energy. So that's awesome.
Fantastic. Let's go through some of these questions here, Christina.
Okay.
Let me see. Here's one about medications again. So was there anything specific about medications or anything that?
There's some medications, and I got off the topic. I apologize, Dory. There's some medications that we'll say don't take with, usually it's like grapefruit. Like they'll say don't take with.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. But I have to say this, I've worked on products that had grapefruit that didn't interact, for example, with warfarin, even though it says it on the label. What they mean is like eating a whole grapefruit or just eating a lot of it. I feel like one pack of Restore will not will not hurt most medications. When people make medications, I was one of the people that worked on them. You basically, if there's any counter indication while you're doing the studies, you have to put it on the label. And because you just don't want anything to happen at all. You're worried about getting sued from a company and everything else. So for me to say it will never interact, I would have to look at all the medication that people were on. And that's why I always say, and Dora, you hear me a lot, we have doctors that we work with that use these products that are MDs that treat patients. I've only been over patients in clinical trials as principal investigator and study coordinator and as a psychologist. But they can always reach out to Dr. Keshkesh or Dr. Tina and have conversations with them. And then you and I can always guide them to other doctors. That there's so many doctors right now that are using these products that have actually never had the experience like I've had recently with actually having doctors personally call me and contact me. And I've had a variety of phone calls lately about professional athletes, and I'm not going to mention their names, so Clayton, please don't. But they are using my product and they're loving it. I have to keep that confidential because I feel like that's their privacy, but they want a competitive edge. And so they're using the Trinity because they need a competitive edge in sports. And they don't want me sharing their names with everyone because they're currently professional athletes. And some of these professional athletes that have started using this are competing one-on-one and things like the Wimbledon, right? And so they don't want us to discuss publicly what they're doing. Yeah. But they did contact me, a few of them, and ask if they could be ambassadors and ask if they could represent the product after they're on tour. And I said, yes.
Oh, yes, please. So here's a question. Oh, go ahead, Clay.
Well, and it's a key point is clean slate, zero in, are banned substance free, as is on the Banned Substances Control Group website, and Restore will be there shortly. So if you are an athlete or a competitor, you can use these products and know that there's no banned substances in them. But as many of you know, they produce outcomes better than many banned substances.
Well, it's natural though. It's not giving people a competitive edge because of doing something that's synthetic or not natural for the body. All it's doing is supporting the body, Clayton, to get rid of really bad things and then, be younger basically, or support it in being healthier. So that's an amazing thing.
And you
And
also mentioned too that to rebuild the gut too, for gut health.
yeah, I really, for me, over the last, I don't know if it's my age or what's happened. My family has colitis. Hi, Yulia. I just say hi to Yulia from Ukraine. We have colitis, and so it's been a daily battle for me, really. And a couple of years ago, I was feeling better, but over the last year, especially, I kept taking more. So I was going to say this story. You know me, and I don't talk about this a lot, but my stomach hurts so much that I sometimes can't eat. If I eat, I don't feel great. And like today, I've taken 2 Restore, and I don't have a stomach ache. And like you would say, well, that's not a big deal. It's a huge deal for me, because what I don't talk about a lot is that it really, like every day, I think, please, I don't want to have a stomach ache. Like I want my stomach to feel good, because colitis isn't fun. Ulcerative colitis is not fun at all. And this product is significant for me to feel okay during the day. When you have a gnawing pain or illness, I think the thing that people don't know is it impacts your entire day, because you don't feel good, and it goes from one area of the body to the next. So to be able to have a product that can really impact certain areas like the gut, the microbiome, is really important. So if you ask me what ingredients in this affect these positively, here's my answer: which ones don't? Like if you look at them, they've all been used in key ingredients or key products and in studies to impact the gut and the microbiome. Everyone knows this, I think, about apple cider vinegar. I think most people know it about turmeric curcumin. And if you think about it, it makes sense. Black cumin seed is another one that we all know, that resveratrol, another one. If you ask me, well, how does that make sense to you, Christina? Well, I'll tell you how it makes sense. In the Alzheimer's Association, they have things that talk about what people can take to hopefully prevent Alzheimer's. We know now that different people it's not just the APO gene, it's other things that are causing it. That dementia is not a natural process of aging. It's environmental factors that then cause this to happen in the body, and the brain can't think. If you're able to, and if you look at the Alzheimer's Association, and they talk about turmeric curcumin, and then they talk about the aloe vera. I mean, it's actually on their sites in the United States. And then there's all kinds of studies that talk about resveratrol and how it helps. You understand that these products, turmeric curcumin, have been able to help significantly with dementia and in scoring as far as people remembering things that are older. And so now the thought process is this is one of the ingredients, along with the aloe vera, along with the resveratrol, along with the black cumin seed, that are able to really impact the brain. So we all know these 3, the brain, the heart, and the stomach, and how connected they are and how they're talking the whole time.
Wow. And
if you say
it's like brain and gut all together.
And the heart's involved in that too. I think that's something that's going to come out more and more, Dory. And I'm saying this to you because I know that you've had issues. I know that your stomach is so important to your heart. And, a lot of times when people have heart attacks, they think they're just having indigestion, right? And they're having a heart attack. All of that is communicating.
Exactly.
And if you think about it, when the brain stops, usually the heart and the stomach, right? Everything stops. It's
and then
all
there's also the heart brain connection too.
Yeah. So it's so important. And I think, like Dory, I think you're going to feel significantly better. And I'm very thankful for this product for you, because from a cardiovascular perspective, if you look at the ingredients and the percentages,
I did see the ingredients. I got really excited about the D-ribose. I saw that. Oh, yes. And then the fact that you were able to take the black cumin seed oil, that, I mean, like, hey, if you guys have ever taken that, alone, it tastes like rocket fuel. It's horrible, right? That the fact that you were able to, to create this product that tastes so good and is so healthy, I can't wait to try it.
And you haven't
Well,
even tasted it yet. Can
I
I,
can
can I throw,
imagine.
I chose ingredients that I knew were used from a pharmacology perspective to treat diseases and illnesses with certain pharmaceutical products as well. Because one thing people don't understand is that biologics, human monoclonal antibodies, and certain types of pharmaceuticals, they'll start with a natural substance
Mhm.
and they'll add like mouse murine or different things to it. So I used ingredients that I knew had been targeted to be used by pharmaceutical companies because of their natural results. And I wanted that impact and that effect. I did not think that would stop me from getting sick that night, but it did stop me from getting sick.
so can you talk to me about lectin
Mm.
and some extracts that can have lectin in them, and why you chose processes of ingredients that don't include them?
Oh, yes. So when you eat the seeds of things, there's lectin, right? And lectin can have some healing properties, but if used in mass amounts or even used regularly, it can cause even death. Like it can cause a lot of carcinogenic effects in the body. And so that's why I used mostly roots, and I used powders of leaves and stuff like that. And then with the seeds that I did use, I used a method that I have a provisional patent on, which is to get rid of the lectin so that you keep the key ingredients in. I wanted a packet that people could take and they never would have to worry about the question of what's happening there. And that's why I used a formula that I actually had worked on while I was at Harvard, so that we would have a different experience from anyone else that had even a similar product to ours.
So you would say roots over seeds?
Yeah, I like seeds, but I think if you use them, you have to have the support of a company like Root that will help you make them in a method where you're trying to take as much of the lectin out to preserve the good part and to not have that part that can be toxic to the body.
So one big question for you.
Hmm?
You talk about all these ingredients being in one product, and as you mentioned, quality costs more.
Mhm.
Hit on the key from a value perspective of what you understand, because we got to discuss the importance of this and why the price point was important, how it's underpriced for what it costs, right? So hit on quality for me a little bit, and what you chose and why there's never been a product like this ever introduced before. And I'll hit on a little bit of it, but go over the quality and cost, and then I'll hit on why it's never been done before.
So first of all, I want you guys to know that sourcing this product took a long time. Of course, COVID was a factor of that, but I did change some stuff at the last minute because of my educational background, as I discussed. I wanted it sourced from the best places. I wanted it sourced from particular parts of the plant, like the root. So to do that, it was incredibly expensive for the company. And there were multiple times that the manufacturer came back to me. And first of all, the first comment was, we can't make this the way you want it because it'll never taste good. And I said, it will. We can get there. And they said, no, it won't. And I said, yes, it will. And then it has, thank goodness, because going back to Dory's point, I used ingredients that really don't taste great. One of them is black cumin seed, but it's also other oil, sorry, not just the seed, the oil. But there's also other ingredients that don't taste great, right? And so they kept coming back to me, and we had to work on, through all that. And then Clayton actually came back to me and the company and said, this is too expensive. And I said, I don't care. And they said, no, well, it has to make sense for the company. And I said, then don't make the product, because I want the product where it works and it helps people. And, they went back to margins of the company and how they had to be profitable. And so I just said, I don't care. We've got to make it work, because this is a product that I think is extremely important for people to take. And I know it's extremely expensive, but it's what I want. And so when you do that and you're the scientist, you of course go back and forth and you talk about, okay, can we water it down? Can we add, different, no, my answer was no every time, to make sure that we would have really the right thing in the product.
And that's actually not entirely true, because we did have to come to an agreement on cutting it down, because, so everyone knows here, her original desire was a product that was so strong in concentration that even our manufacturing team said they can't do it because it would stain your teeth.
Well, I'm worried I took some, and I'm worried that it's on my teeth. Is it, Clayton?
Well, this will actually whiten your teeth. It's
I
so,
know,
it's
but
so good.
I always worry, because I actually brush my teeth usually
Your teeth
afterwards.
look fine.
Thank you, Dory. I needed to hear
They're
that
not
right now.
orange at all.
So the important part from a value proposition, and there was a question on this, on how often to use it. And the ladies will understand this value proposition more than the men. If you could give yourself a 4-hour facial every day for less than $5, for the price of a footlong, you can have a sub sandwich or a 4-hour facial. Good trade.
Yeah, I saw the comment on how often you should use the product on your face, and that's a great question. I'm addicted to it, which does not usually happen to me with a product. I use it. I try to use it every day, because if I don't, my skin looks different. I don't have to use it every day. I would say once or twice a week would be great. I just use it every day because I use such a thin layer that all you have to do is take it and then cut open the packet and then use a thin layer on your skin. But I'm not telling people to use it every day. I didn't make it just for the skin. I made it for people to take. I just wanted it because I knew, for example, let me take aloe vera. That's one of the key ingredients. Aloe vera is known not just to help the skin and anti-aging, it's also known to help with cancer. It's also known to help with the heart, but it also helps with wounds and injuries. So what I mean by that, they actually use it, and I'm sure you guys know this, with patients that are burn victims or have severe wounds, because of the antimicrobial, antibacterial agents in it, that it's able to really help. And that's not counting the raspberry ketones that have the neural nail effect at all. And I want to say this because I know I feel like these ingredients are my children because they're so amazing. Aloe vera has 75 components in it, actually. And all those components are used to help the body really fight things and to be better. So it's not even me as a scientist that developed such a great product. It's the fact that I chose ingredients that I knew would speak for themselves. They would be able to help you all in communicating inside your body. I can't be inside of people's bodies. My job, as Tiffany Preston says, and Dory says, is to be a warrior and to bring the right fight to the body so it can protect itself and can be strong. And that's what this ingredient, that's what this product does for people. It really is going to impact people. I'm going to let it speak for itself because it's going to make some major changes. All people are going to have to do is put it on different places in their body and feel it, and know that when you're taking it inside the body, that's what it's doing inside the body too.
Wow, this is really going to be amazing for those that have like eczema and psoriasis and things like that as well.
Almost like you could use them in conjunction with one another to clean out your liver with clean slate and then add a little Restore. But the important part is Restore is going to work on both sides. It's going to benefit greatly with internal consumption, but then the topical use is going to be exceptional. There was one question, I'm going to answer part of it and then I'll leave it for Christina, about when to use Restore topically. Now I'm the marketing guy. I love to do it during the day because I'll put on my orange mask so I can look like Orange Man. And people ask me, what is that? I'm like, I'm doing a Restore facial. And they're like, hold on, what is that? I'm like, it's the tastiest facial ever. But Christina, I mean, it's not just use it for an hour. It's put it on, wear it overnight, correct? That's been the experience. And then your
Yeah.
face becomes so tasty.
Yeah, and I actually will put it on things during the day because, like I said, the stickiness wears off. I've used it before under my makeup. So there's different things that definitely can help from that perspective. And another thing, I don't want to forget that to talk about this because I don't know what the time is.
As
2:08.
long as you want.
Okay, as long as you want.
Okay, I wanted to make sure you all knew that another reason I chose the ingredients is because when you look at what's happened with the environmental factors in the world and you study it, and I know lots of people have disagreements with the World Health Organization and the UN, but I've been involved in all those organizations, and I know that environmental factors have significantly impacted our lives in the three areas that they really, well, there's five, but I really, your diabetes, which they also a lot of times will put your cardiovascular issues along with that, the issues that are happening with the heart and with the body and how it's using insulin and how it's using sugars and how everything's working together. That's definitely a problem because of the environmental toxins. And then you've got your neural, right? We all know this. All of this stuff is affecting our brains, and it would be impossible to me if I would be like, if someone argued that point with me, I don't even know what to say. It's very obvious to all of us that we have an increased level of autism, of ADHD, of anxiety, of depression, of ALS, of Parkinson's. I mean, it's just kept growing and growing. So we've got to help our bodies. And then if you look at the other thing that is a significant issue, it's fertility and reproduction. And I was extremely concerned about that. I was concerned about that from the fact that people are going to be taking more and more vaccines, and that impacts fertility and reproduction. And there's all these environmental factors where we've had so many more issues with not just the fertility part, but how people are reproducing and how that even works. And so I added ingredients. 4 of the ingredients were targeted so to support people's bodies and reproduction, because I wanted to make sure that they had that. And you guys may or may not know this, but it's not just red raspberries that do that and the ketones attached. It's not just turmeric curcumin that's been known to help with that, but aloe vera is a very strong ingredient that has helped with many people with reproduction as well as resveratrol. So and there's some studies even with black cumin seed. I wanted to target those key facts that are those key issues that we're having. And you guys, I say this all the time. People are always like, well, how can there be a natural product that helps with all that? Well, our bodies naturally get attacked. So we have natural remedies on this earth that we need to use. And, coming from Cherokee and Choctaw on one side and understanding, and then German and Irish on the other side, understanding how all of this works together and how our body has, our world has certain things that can impact our body. I didn't just lean on my pharmaceutical biotech background or nanobiotechnology or nutrition. I also leaned on my upbringing and my heritage to be able to bring a product that I really know can support people and help them. And I think the Trinity is very important, because when you detox, like I said, and you have to detox, I don't care what people say, you need to detox. Being able to supplement with the 0N for the neural transmission and the performance is extremely important. And we all know that, but also being able to supplement the entire body, the organs of the body, and how the whole process works is extremely important as well.
You didn't take a step back. You talk about your German heritage, but we know Rahm comes from the Middle East.
Yeah.
Goes further back than the Germans, and we know who came from the Middle East originally.
Well, I swear, Dory.
We just cut that out. Yeah.
From a town called Bethlehem.
Oh my goodness. I know that, yes, the Rahm name, R-A-H-M, is Middle Eastern and Eastern European. Yes.
So in taking the products, I mean, how would you, in terms of taking all 3 of them, would you take them all together? Would you can you take them all together?
Yeah, so you could take them all together. I don't, Dory. Now I take, one of the first things I do is take Clean Slate. I take it in the morning, and I try to take it every night when I go to bed. Sometimes, though, I've told you guys I don't want anyone else to do this, but I'll drink half a bottle. And so, if I feel bad, that's what I'll do. Restore Okay, I'm just going to be very honest. I'm almost addicted to Restore. So I'm taking Restore. I don't actually, a lot of times eat breakfast, and but I take Restore in the morning now, and I'm taking one in the afternoon. However, I have to say this. I've taken it at night, and usually I worry about taking things like this at night. I think it's best to take a product like Restore at night because your body is regenerating at night. So if you take it at night, it's helping your body regenerate. It actually helps me sleep. Instead, even though it gives me energy during the day, if I take Restore at night, I'm not like Clayton. If I can't take Zero in at night. But if I take Restore at night, I actually sleep better, and I've noticed that I'm out. So it's actually helping me at night. But I usually, like I said, I try to take it in the morning and after lunch. If I forget, I'll take it at night. I may start taking one in the middle of the morning and one at night. As far as Zero in, I take Zero in typically around 9 o'clock, in the morning. Again, I want to say this, and I know this is not a popular thing to say probably on this call. Restore gives me so much energy that I really don't need more than 1 Zero in. It just gives me so much energy, and it's a good energy. It's not I just feel smooth and I feel calmer. And I think I could not have stepped into Root with all the issues because, we're trying to deal with growing so quickly. Unless I had a product like Restore. And that's why I think I was panicking yesterday that I didn't have the product with me.
A couple points on what she was just hitting on, and in the important part of timing, we actually haven't released this research yet, and because of how busy we've been, one of the crucial designs of Zero In is actually to support and restructure your circadian rhythm. And this is why clean slate is so important to take at night, because when your body is restructuring, when it's detoxifying overnight, when you're dreaming, your brain is solving problems and creating. So taking Zero In around 8 to 9 o'clock in the morning is the ideal time to start, because that allows the rebalancing of your circadian rhythm. And me personally, I love 2. She can do 1. I've talked with many people that can do 1 every other day. And I'll give you this testimonial because I got to experience this over the weekend. Our hydrotherapist is 72. She's amazing. I'm not sure if Millie's here, but she can do Zero In once every other day. And she took one Saturday morning before we got to go see her. And she was buzzing when she was there. She was so hyper and having so much fun. She's like, I can't slow down. This is great. And talking a lot faster than she normally does. And I brought a sachet of Restore for her to try. She's like, no, I can't take it. I'm too hyper right now. It's going to push me over the edge. I can't stop. I can't slow down. I'm doing that intentionally. Sorry, interpreters. But I forced her, as my role being the good client, to try the sachet. And at first she took half of it and she looked at me. She's like, this tastes amazing. And it feels really good. And then a couple minutes went by and she's like, I have to take the rest of it. So she took the rest of the sachet. And within about 5 minutes, she looked at me and she paused. She's like, my entire head is calm right now. I am completely relaxed. I don't know how, but this is an amazing feeling. I am completely focused. I've got that feeling I had, but now I'm completely relaxed. And this is the combination of adaptogens. When you have one that is able to allow your body to produce dopamine and serotonin as it sees fit, and the other is allowing the body to adjust in other aspects and restore the gut. So this goes into the name of me arguing with Christina. She wanted Relive. I won with Restore because of it's working to restore what has been damaged and what has been not working. And maybe the Trinity will be called Relive.
Or maybe we'll change it to Relive.
Oh, you can argue.
No. I you know, Dory, I think that everyone's going to have to try different methods of taking this because everyone's body's different. We all have a personal story. We all have a personal body with different DNA. So it's really going to be important that everyone tries it, you know, and figures out a way. I know that with Clean Slate and Zero In, everyone has a different ability and different way they're using it. I know that when I was on the phone with some of these athletes, what was happening is they're taking it the Zero In, they're taking 30 minutes before they actually do the sport. And that's what's really helping them to focus. And so they're taking it in the morning or 30 minutes before the sport. They're taking the Clean Slate like I am every morning and every night. And then with Restore, they're also taking the Restore before they work out, or that they play their tennis match or soccer match, and then also after to recover. Now, if you ask me, well, Christina, I thought you just said that you don't like to take Restore and Zero In together. That's right, but I'm not going out and professionally competing. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm not like my son playing basketball where he's running up and down the floor, court, or playing at Wimbledon, or playing a golf game. So we're all going to be different and have a different story. And I think, you know, people hate the fact that when you create a nutraceutical or a supplement, you can't claim to cure something, you can't claim something and don't have the exact dosing. I don't look at it like that. I look at it as something that makes the inside of your body beautiful, that's natural, and we all get to decide what that is for us. I do like to give guidelines because I think that helps people. But I also think that everyone needs to know, this goes back to what I say, and this is what I wrote in the book. You know, doctors prescribe things, pharmaceutical companies write on the back of something how to exactly take something and what you need to do. And you know, I always say, don't live the life you've been prescribed by someone that thinks they know the answer. This is your body. You're going to figure it out. Start with the recommendations that a company sets forth as far as indications and dosing, but then go into truly being able to figure it out for your own body and for your own family. We will do studies. We are committed to that. International Science Nutrition Society is committed. Dr. Dory, Dr. Tina, Dr. Keshkesh, Yuja, we're all committed. And there's a growing group of doctors that are contacting me that want to be involved in this with us. But also understand, we don't know everything about your body. What we do know is about these ingredients. And what I do know is how I made the product, and I know how it will support people's bodies so that they can be the best they can be. That is the goal. And the goal is, if there's an issue that's happening, and look, let's be honest, we all have issues. We all have mental, emotional, spiritual, physical things that we go through on a day-to-day basis. So this is something that can help you support your body to resolve some of that, or to become the best self that you are. And you asked me in the beginning, Dory, why Restore, why the ingredients? It's because I wanted something that was able to uniquely give this to almost everyone in the world that could really help them, whether they were in Uganda or Nigeria, South Africa, Japan, Korea, or United States, Norway, Ukraine, Russia. You know, I wanted everyone to have help. And that's my hope, is that this product will continue to help people all over.
My love, you gave me the opportunity to do my full Blake Shelton. I got to do the pointing when you were talking about issues.
I like Blake Shelton.
We're going to detox the audio.
Yeah.
Some things you can't get out. It's just
Oh yeah, that's
Don't
going to
say
go.
that, Dory. We have a lot of work to do.
We're going to fix it. Don't worry, we're going to fix him.
I think that I can be on at another time, but I do think I need to go because of all the different things that I'm working on. Unless you have more questions for you.
No, I think we're good. We should cut it off now. It's almost an hour and a half. Thank you so much for coming on. I'm just going to put the big view on so you can see everybody. And we really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come be with us, to explain a little bit more information about Restore. Well, a lot of information about Restore, but thank you again. Thank you, Clayton. Thank you everyone for showing up.
One more thing, not to interrupt.
Go ahead.
We did something to wait for this conversation. And because we had some order delays, the special pricing on Restore, if you didn't notice, is still up. We wanted to wait until after this conversation. And because Braden he and his wife just had their first baby. But
Maria.
tomorrow we will make the adjustments to pricing. So hopefully you've had an opportunity to have a much better understanding of why this stuff is so special, and saving $10, well, not a bad idea. So I would say get a bunch of this stuff, and here's why. From what I've seen thus far, if you want to show somebody how amazing these products are, as Sandy has done a good job with some of his friends, give someone the gift of health and happiness. Give them a couple capsules of Zero In and give them a sachet of Restore, let them try it and ask them, tell me when you get the tingle, because you'll get it.
Okay.
So thank you, my love. Thank you,
Oh,
Dory.
that's right. I do want to make sure, Dory, that you know that they've extended it until Wednesday. And I'm very thankful for that. So hopefully people will be able to get Restore and be able to use it. I also want to tell Ukraine, Julia, and
Maria
that I will be doing calls with their group on Thursday. And if there's other countries that need me to do calls and have translators, definitely I'm open to that. So I'm very thankful and look forward to helping people understand the product even more. Yes,
but I will tell you, without trying to be hypey or anything, when Christina told me that of the three, Restore is going to be the biggest of the group and the most powerful, the important part, this stuff is so ridiculously amazing. You have to try it. And it's so strong that you likely only need one sachet every other day. But it is so amazing that you're probably going to use one or more a day. And there's nothing wrong with that, because feeling amazing is a good thing.
That is the point. And one more thing, you know, speaking as a cancer survivor that has had cancer since I was, like I said, in the middle 20s, and then Lyme disease, it's really important to me because I want to live to see my grandchildren and to help people and be a warrior for wellness and health. And so to do that, I've got to fight those cancer cells inside my body. And I'm at least intelligent enough to understand that there's natural products out there that can help my body in this fight naturally, so that it can rectify that and let the good guys win inside of me. You know, in this battle right now, guys, that we have in the world with COVID-19 and with politicians and with companies all just fighting each other, we need something inside our bodies that can do the fight and can also help us mentally, emotionally in this battle. And that's why this is so important. We need something that's with us in a positive and not a negative way. And that's what this product is. And I'm very thankful that we're going to be able to give this positive energy to people. And a lot of people say, you know, positive energy, it doesn't matter. Well, I'm a nanobiotechnologist, and I'm here to tell you that when you create cures for diseases and autoimmune disorders and pharmaceuticals, you use different types of energy in the lab. When you do stuff that has to do with even war and you create things, the good and the bad side, you use energy. So you choose whether you want positive or negative energy in your body. When you take Restore, you're giving your body the positive energy that I believe it needs to support itself. And that's why I think it's very important. So I hope you guys have a great day. I'll let Dory and Clayton talk more if they want to, but I want to tell you, thank you so much for allowing me to do the call.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. And everyone say goodbye to Christina.
Bye, Dory.
Later. Bye-bye.
Okay, can we all make sure that we know that we have the CEO of the century? She hates being CEO. She is not suited for this, but she knew as the coming out party, it would be best to have her in this role. And hey, ladies, do you not want to be like her? I mean, honestly, cancer multiple times, Lyme disease, 4 kids, lost one to cancer. Is this not the woman that you go, check her out? We want to be like her. So
Well,
I do look younger, by the way, because I'm from the guy's perspective. Not only do I have my highlights, don't mind the highlights. This is a judgment-free area, but Restore, I haven't done my facial in a week, but I've done a couple, And as a guy, I will tell you, not only face everyone, but the backs of your hands, which is a major judgmental point, especially I know for women.
Okay, I'm unmuted.
Okay, so it's been, see, you're out running around doing the yard work again because you feel amazing.
I am. I am outside. I am actually doing the pool.
So you get your 3 to 5 minutes, whatever you need, because we've had this conversation a couple times now, but you've got your platform, gadolinium poisoning, brain tumor, all of that fun stuff is in the past.
Yes.
You've used some fun chemicals partying as a kid, which are flushing out of your system.
Yes.
Talk to me about the other chemicals you've used and how you feel. And you have an interesting history, right? Because you got to party like a rock star when you were a kid, when you were younger.
I did.
And you have the comparative analysis that I don't possess. And you've got a year of experience with Zero In and Clean Slate.
Yep.
And you've been on Restore now for a couple weeks.
I have. And
The
it's
floor is
been,
yours.
oh my gosh, guys. You can't, I mean, I really can't put what I feel into words. It's really hard for me, but you had said it earlier that you just, I mean, you take the product. I've been taking the product, and then it's just like I am on the chemical that I used to take prior to, which was a lot of years ago.
You can call it out. It's okay. It's family time.
I used to do math quite a bit because I wanted that feeling of being loved and having loved and being wrapped in love, and I could never find that in people. So what I did was I turned to drugs because my mom rejected me, my dad didn't protect me, got married at a very young age. Anyway, it goes on and on. But the thing is what any person wants in this life is to be loved. And right there's a bald eagle. My goodness, guys. And is to be loved and to feel love and to be wrapped in love. And that is exactly what I feel like today. I feel like the first initial when I take Restore, it's like, wow, you know, it's amazing. And then it just tapers off and you just feel really relaxed. You feel energy, you feel calm. And I can just give you for instance, I wasn't going to, but yesterday my husband and I got into just a little spat, but you know what? If it was my old me, I'd have laid into him and we would have been fighting for days. I just kind of looked at him and thought, yeah, okay, you know, whatever. And he went his way and I went my way. That never, ever, ever would have happened. And it just makes you call like, you know what? I really don't even care. I'm looking at this bald eagle flying around. It's really cool. But it's just simply amazing when you feel like really, it's not that life doesn't matter. It's just what is important in life. And you really figure out that importance. And then when you wrap that in that feeling of love and mental clarity is vital in the life that we live in. Mental clarity is very vital. And that is exactly what I have accomplished this last year. Because like you said, everybody knows I had a brain tumor, and I mean, the brain fog was terrible. I couldn't even think what I was doing from one second to the next. But when all that's clear, and then you can go out and do a full day of whatever, it's stinking amazing. It is freaking amazing. It is just amazing. And I mean, I just can't even give you guys the total, because there's no words in me to complete what, but I am going to try, like Christina had advised, try to, and I'm going to do that for the rest of the week, just to see, because I do have a few pounds to get off. And me, I still haven't gotten rid of that, that sugar, wanting sugar, you know, I still want that, but I can tell you my dreams are beginning to become more vivid. They're good dreams. And when I wake up, I'm in such a good place. I'm in such a good place that I've not been in this place for many, 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 many years. So I thank you guys so much, because like I said, you've given me my life back. I literally feel like I have my life back. And I feel like a real person.
And an amazing one, by the way.
Amazing one, yes. It is amazing. Just things are happening.
So one thing, if he's still around, Yvonne wants a picture of the eagle.
Well, he left.
Sorry,
Yvonne. I wanted to, but he just flew right. I mean, literally, I don't know if you can see right over here, but right up here, just flew right across. And I know the difference because he had such a white head and a tail. And then there's a couple buzzards flying around here, but the eagle just flew right in front of my face.
I'll give you $5 if you jump in the pool while you're on camera.
Oh no, it's heated, but it's like you say, I'm cleaning it out right now because it's got a lot of debris.
So you would say, with your experience, and I want to trace something really quickly, so I understand this, because you're hitting on some stuff, and you're such an amazing circumstance, and you're right down the street from us, so we get to hang out and talk about this on better camera. So
and that's coming soon.
The meth use, the cocaine use preceded the brain tumor.
Yes.
Okay. And then the
because
gadolinium.
I had done a lot of that in my earlier day. And then when I got into being an adult, then I would try it a couple of times, but I quit.
Yep. And then, so you could theoretically put some precursors to the use of substances that cause damage to the brain.
Yes.
30, was it 30 dye contrast MRIs?
30 or more, or 30 or less. I really didn't count them, and I can go. When they first diagnosed me, just right off the bat, I had 3. The first couple of days I had 3, and one was without, and the other one, and every one I had thereafter was with contrast.
And then the complications from that we've well documented. And
yes,
you were in pretty bad shape a year ago.
Very bad shape.
And now you're much better.
Very much better. And like I said, I just feel when you're healthy, I think we talked about this, you feel lighter, you feel vibrant, you feel just, I really cannot describe from what I was last year to what I am right now. And excuse my appearance, like I said, I've just been working around the house and everything, but I feel like my face is actually, because I've done the facials for the last 3 or 4 days, and it has been amazing. It really has been amazing on the face. And I'm working on my husband. He has some spots on his, like Christina has on hers, and I can already see they're starting to go away. So when she touched base on what it just did topically, I'll be using it in a lot different places as well. So I'm super stoked about all of it.
So you'd tell people that it's probably a good idea to try it.
Oh yeah, and I do. Whenever I can, and whenever I get out of my domain here, I don't never not talk about it.
And then can you reiterate how amazing it is, and the fact that Dory doesn't have it right now?
Oh, sure, rub it in. Yeah,
I'm so sorry, Dory, but it's. I just finished off my first box, so I'm excited. Just opened my second box. I could probably send it to you, Dory.
No soup for you.
Da ist im Vorteil in Deutschland und morgen alles.
Well, I also think one thing to realize is that we have, Dr. Christina Rahm, who is the inventor and formulator of the products. And, in a lot of companies, they're just the marketing arm for the company. Here we have the inventor, the formulator. She's the CEO.
Yes.
This is like, it doesn't get much better than that.
No, it does not. And to have such a love and compassion in her heart for people, and and it's not just that feeling, but to literally feel the sincerity that she feels and that you guys feel to get us better. There's no words for that.
Well,
There's just
and
absolutely no words.
there's a little treat on every packet that I'll take responsibility for it because I did it. But if you read the back of the packet, I think most people have seen the front. It says "Taste Greatness" because there's no other
It
way
does
to put
taste
it.
pretty great. This does pretty great.
But on the back, and intention is everything, right? Because you can put energy into stuff. But the back says "From our heart to your hand,"
Yes. Yeah, that is awesome.
and it's not mine; it's hers.
Yes.
So in every sachet, you're getting not a little bit, but a lot of love from the pekacorn.
And you feel that, and you definitely feel it. So for those that haven't got to try it, you're in for a treat, because like I said, this is everything. And I mean, that any chemical, any meth that I've ever done can ever give you. And then you just feel good the next day when you wake up. So, and it just keeps going. So I haven't had a stopping point yet, Clayton.
See, Claire, that rocks. So I've got to do the same thing Christina was doing. So,
Well, I love every one of you guys, and I'm so thankful for this family.
and
Thank
that
you,
is
Lisa.
facts, as the kids say, because this is one big, amazing family in 60 plus countries.
Yes, it is amazing. Thank you so much, guys.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Good night. And we'll see you next week. Same time, same place.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye.
Bye.